Hey folks, Kevin here. Here's a sneak peek at a GitHub app that I just wrote. It is pending for publish, but I wanted to do a quick video just to kind of show how it works. So it uses Exo AI in the back end. It uses the server, and it writes a test using a language model for all files when a PR is open. This is something that I use in all my repositories. It basically opens up a test commit for all the files in the PR. So I'm going to show kind of how it works. This is going to be the page. It's going to be free for up to 100 tests for folks if they want to use it, and kind of here's how it works. So I have a couple of files here. I have a branch. So here you see this is the Kevin video test branch, and I have a couple of new files. So here's an example function with a bunch of like file path kind of functions that split the file into get the name and the path and the suffix and the prefix. Here's a update to an existing file. So this is funny error message, and this is one that writes a dad joke. And then this is another new file, which is deserialized JSON, basically just parses out the JSON if it matches the correct JSON. So I'm going to commit this, and yes, and then I'm going to push this upstream, show how it works here. And we should see it in GitHub now. So usually this will pop up if you have a new PR or new branch, I should say. So here we are, compare and pull request. And once I do this, it's going to basically what it's going to do is it's going to look through. It asks the language model if this is a testable function, right? So if it's a test, if it's a console log, if it's a comment, if it's a deleted code, then it won't write a test. But if it's could be testable, then it will write a test for it. So it'll write a test for all this stuff. It'll write a test for the new file here, and it only writes tests for the new code, right? So like there's other code in this file, but it won't write a test for it. It'll only write a test for this write a dad joke. So basically what will happen is in the back end, there's a webhook, and it's going to write a new commit, and you'll see the commit here. And then you can pull down the commit and test the test locally if you like. So so we should see that. All right, folks, here's the test that it generated. So you can see that the bot committed to this PR. Okay, so there's 5 commits, and here's the tests. So it created a test for the serialized JSON, which is pretty good. So it has the key value and expects it to be correct. And then if it's not valid JSON, it's going to be null. If it's empty, that's a pretty good test. There's a bunch of tests here for the path. This is to extract the file name and path. Basically, it'll pass it here and expect it to be this. So that's actually a pretty good. Actually pulls out the file name and expects that. So that's a pretty good test. And there's a bunch of other tests for the other stuff that we have here. And then the dad joke here. Basically, it's putting in some jokes here. And let's see. We're stubbing out the completion, and it resolves to the correct or a valid joke here. Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the side? I guess dad joke, good one. Anyway, so you'll see that it wrote the test. It wrote the test for this error message file just for the dad joke file, right? So you don't see any tests here for any of their functions in that file. So that's pretty cool. And then obviously wrote the full complement of tests for these files. So as you can see, it commits them to this PR, and then you can pull them down and adapt them, run them, of course, in any way that you want. And so that's kind of how the GitHub bot works. Is it basically listens for any created PR and then writes tests for them, as you can see. Right now, it only does it when the PR is opened. And so the one way to kind of trigger this is to close the PR and then reopen it if you have new files. But really, just going to do it on the first time it's open. I did that because if you did on every commit, it's a way of controlling when the tests get created. And so if you want to run the test again or run the test on the file, it won't run the test, obviously, on other tests or even bot-generated code. And so you could basically just close it. If you had new commits, you close the PR, reopen it. Over time, if folks like this and we decide that it's useful, then I can adapt that to do it for a commit or do it for any other kind of action that's happened on PR. So that's it. Thanks for watching.